Good afternoon, everyone. This is a training video for our EU partners, which is aimed at introducing you to the mobile services that the company has for partners and customers and are very helpful in working and running your business. Let's start with the Greenway mobile app. You can download it in all markets, App Store, Google Play, EP Gallery. And first of all, I ask you to always install the update in a timely manner so that the application works correctly. We write news about big updates on the website and on social networks. So let's get started. When you first log into the mobile app, it automatically detects your location, and, accordingly, the country and language. If you want to change the location, you need to click on the upper left corner of the icon and select the desired city or country. I want to note that everything I show is based on demo data, a demo account. And, accordingly, since the universal language is still English, then the application is shown in English. In general, the application has all the languages that belong to the European Union, and if necessary, you can choose any one that suits you. So, what do we see on the main page of the online store? These are banners and all promotions and new items that are currently in effect. The next tab is brands. All the brands of the company that we produce. Accordingly, from here you can go to any and see the full description of this brand and, accordingly, all the products that are included in it. There is a tile display and a display with such cards, which, respectively, are located on the entire width of the screen. You can sort and filter by category, price, quantity of beer, select only new products or products by promotion. The next tab is the catalog. The company's products are located here. They are divided into categories to make it easier to choose. There is a tab All Products. Here is absolutely everything that is available for purchase in your country at the moment, or you can choose a certain category and, accordingly, already work with it. There is a very convenient search in the application. When typing a word, the application selects for you not only a product, but also a brand or a category to which this word belongs. Let's look at the product card. How is it arranged? A short product card contains both the partner's price and the customer's price for EU partners, and, accordingly, the number of beers that this product includes. You can add the desired product to the cart right from here, or go to the detailed product map and, accordingly, read all the information about it, how to use it, composition, watch videos and so on. Here you can immediately copy the referral link and send it to the required client or partner. What do the icons in the upper right corner mean? A heart is an addition to your favorite foods so that you always have a list of your favorite foods at hand. A little later I will show you where it is located. The gift icon means that you can pay for this product with gift bonuses, which are credited to you after the closing of the period. And, accordingly, the play icon is a direct transition to the product video. You can also scroll through the photos and look in more detail, study the product. At the bottom we have the Favorite Products button, which I mentioned earlier. Accordingly, here are all the products that you love and that you often order, for example. After you have selected all the necessary products, you can proceed to checkout. This is what our basket actually looks like. If you want to send a referral link to the basket, that is, for example, you have formed a certain set of products for some of your partner or client, then you can send a referral link directly from the basket to the right person. When he enters the application or website, his shopping cart will open, and, accordingly, he will be able to arrange exactly the products that you have chosen for him, without wasting time, immediately. Here you can also change the number of products in the basket or delete. Write off gift bonuses, if required, and proceed to the next step of ordering. Here we choose the location, delivery. If we want to pick up the goods in the Postomate on the map, we can immediately select and proceed to payment accordingly. The phone does not fit here, but, accordingly, after the phone of your country is automatically substituted here, and then the next step goes to payment. The next section is Contacts. Here are all the contacts, which are companies that relate to your country, mail, to which you can immediately write a letter. View all the company's international contacts and phone numbers, a map with Greenway markets, social networks and, accordingly, official documents. Next, go to the Personal Office tab. What is the most important thing here? The most important thing is for quick authorization to easily set up a biometrics login. You can do this in the settings. At the very bottom there is a connection of biometrics and push notifications so that you always have the most up-to-date information from the company. Accordingly, after you connect the biometrics input, authorization in the application can take place via Face ID or Touch ID, depending on your device. Here in the settings you can see all your personal data. You can add an avatar from the gallery and files. I will tell you the profile a little later in the Pulse service. So, the most important thing that we see here is your current indicators at the moment in terms of volumes, accounts, team and the number of days left until the end of the period. Next, I will show you quickly all the sections very briefly so that you understand in general what is and what can be used in the mobile application. This is registration of a partner or client. You register a person yourself through your personal office, or you can generate a link from here and send it to any messenger. Just below there is a separate section of referral links. We have referral links to both the product and the online store, as well as referral links to the registration of a partner or client. My team section. This is a standard display. Excuse me, I'll show you now. The standard display of your team with the necessary filters that you can choose for more convenient work. You can also view your team for any previous period, download data to Excel, or, most interestingly, set up the table the way you need it. To do this, go to the settings, and here you can disable those columns that you do not need at the moment. You can also swap them. To do this, hold your finger on the right column and drag it to the right place. Click OK and see how the table is now displayed. Look, the first thing we are getting is how we set the personal volume, then the training, then the qualification. If we now click download, here is the goal. It is in this form that the table will download. For each partner, we can view information, call or write a WhatsApp. You can call directly from the table or write a WhatsApp. Here below is an absolutely standard display of your structure. There is a search by ID or by name. The next section is the order history. Here are all your orders that you have ever made, including unpaid ones. It is from this section that you can find and pay for the order, go to the payment, and also view all the information. There are various statuses for orders that will clearly help you navigate. The next section that I would like to show you is the statement. First of all, you see the indicators of the current period and the preliminary calculation of remuneration. To view the remuneration that you had in previous periods, you need to click the calendar and select the desired month. Here, respectively, you already see the accrued remuneration for the month of the beginning of the year and in total in Greenway. And it is described in more detail how for which bonus you received, how much reward. There is an interesting functionality here in the upper right corner. It is made so that you can share your indicators and achievements with the team or on your social networks. We can change the background, choose what exactly we want to show and post, for example, how much I was rewarded for the closed period, choose a beautiful background, make a screenshot and post it wherever you want, or share it directly from here. Very interesting and diverse functionality. Next, we have the Greenway News section, everything that the company publishes, the launch of promotions, the release of new products, events, news that you need to know, everything is here. There is filtering by month and year. If you need to find news for a certain period, you can easily do it here. There is also a standard money transfer here, which works exactly the same as on the site you are used to. You can transfer funds to a partner or, yes, to a partner of your structure. Next we have a marketing plan. It is divided into sections for a more understandable and visual study. The basic concepts of what activity is, how remuneration is calculated and all internal exchange rates, and then all information on bonuses. Interestingly, there are examples here, that is, how exactly the remuneration is calculated in your country. It is very convenient to learn and understand how the company still charges you a reward. The next section is ratings. Beginner's Guide and Skill. The last two sections are the transition to the site. We just made it for convenience so that you can go from the application with one click to where you need to go. So, I skipped some sections, but I left them for the most interesting. Accordingly, what do I want to tell you first of all? We have such an interesting service, which is only in the mobile application, called My Diary. A convenient tool for your work. What is there here? This is a calendar of upcoming company events, as well as your personal calendar. You can view all the events that the company has planned for the near future until the end of the year, as well as the dates for them. And, accordingly, your personal diary, which you can use both for your own affairs, for the affairs of the planning team, and so on. The first view you will see is a month. The dots display is the number of scheduled daily tasks for the day. Accordingly, the dots you can have different colors. The light depends on the type of event you are creating. Let's take a closer look. To schedule events for yourself, you can click on the plus sign, or go on a certain day, choose a time interval and, accordingly, schedule events for yourself. The type of events can be different. We'll put the bell on. You can add a place, if it's a meeting, and a description. Interestingly, you can add here, invite a partner to this event. For example, if we are planning a call with Elena, and Elena is in your structure, then you can add her ID here, and this event will appear after saving not only in your diary, but also in Elena's diary. That is, she will see that you have planned a call with her. It's very interesting. Moreover, you cannot add one person to your event, but several. For example, you have a certain group ringing, yes, you can add everyone, and accordingly, this event will appear in everyone's diary. Well, let's create it anyway, to see as an example. This event can later be either edited or deleted if it is no longer relevant. There are two types of events in the diary here. These are your personal ones that you contribute and the events that the company contributes. How to identify them? Firstly, they are always green by month. If the green dot is always an event that your company has planned for your diary. Such events for the day are always displayed on top. That is, here. What type of events can these be? For example, the release of a novelty, a promotion, an event of some kind, and so on. That is, there was an action, respectively, we added it to the diary. Based on this event, we can add it to our calendar. Let's say you are going to go to the office for a production day. Accordingly, you can choose the date when you plan to do it, the time, and save your diary. Accordingly, here we have on the 11th of June it was put down that we will go to the green market for the production day. A very convenient tool, I recommend you to use it. The next service is Pulse. What does this service allow? It allows you to receive the latest news from the company, from your mentors, or share the most useful and important with your team using convenient filters. There are 2 tabs here. These are all the events that your mentors sent you, which you can watch. And comment, among other things. Here are all the events that you sent to your structure, and, in fact, let's try with you to make a mailing list by structure. This function is to notify your partners about some news, announcements that you conduct in your team, is available only for partners from L and above. That is, these partners can send messages to the structure. Partners who have not yet achieved this qualification can only read the messages sent to them by their mentors, but this is also very convenient. In order to write a message, we click on the plus sign. Here we write the title and a description. The description can be any number of characters. Only the title is limited by characters. You can attach a photo to your message, or a voice message, or some document, for example, that your company needs to get acquainted with. Next, we have filtering. We can either make a new filter by company, by the command to whom this message will be sent, or use the saved one. Well, since, in my opinion, we don't have any saved ones, but no, there are saved ones, but nevertheless, let me show you how to make a new filter. We have absolutely different indicators here. You can limit the selection to a personal volume, or a group, or a qualification, select several qualifications, or all, or only L+, M+, so that it is convenient. Select the period for which we will view the selected indicators. And we can also either add, send, or rather, a message only to the structure of a certain partner, or exclude a certain structure from your team, and, accordingly, this structure will not receive the message completely. We can send only to the first line and, accordingly, save the filter. For example, let's save the filter and call her his. Yeah. That's it, the filter is saved, and we are also sending a message. Here you can see a preview of what your news will look like. You can prohibit comments, but I recommend always leaving comments to know what your partners think, or perhaps they will have some questions, and they will definitely write them in the comments, and you can also respond to comments. Here you can also see the number of partners who will receive, or rather, fit the selection of your filters. In this case, I have 72 partners. A brief description of the filter and, accordingly, how the message will look, which you can immediately add your diary or add a daily nickname of participants. That is, if you add participants to the diary, respectively, they all have this event in their diary. And then we click Publish. All, respectively, here you see the post you published. If the comments are like this with a red dot here at the bottom, respectively, it's someone who wrote you a comment. You can go in, read, answer it. In general, it is a very convenient tool for notifying your team and getting up-to-date structure news from your mentors. The most important thing is that I am. Well, not the most important thing, of course. What I missed is the analytics section. Let's take a look at it. What is analytics? It is an interactive assistant that analyzes your structure and its indicators. That is, based on this data, you can understand ways and solutions to increase your network and your income. That is, to build your work competently. What do we see here? There are charts for personal volume, group volume, activation registration both for your first line and in the structure. Accordingly, we can see the number of people with a certain personal volume of the first line and your bonuses for each of the periods. Here we have pools of sellers and buyers. There is a quick navigation on top to go to the desired indicator. A brief analysis has been made in the mobile application, but there is also a transition to Pro Analytics. This is a transition to a site where more detailed analytics is presented, with more detailed graphs. If you suddenly lack what is in the mobile app, you can always go from here to Advanced Analytics and already look at the indicators there. What is important, all the figures and graphs on analytics are shown for the current period for the current day, and they are updated once a day. Here we can see the dynamics of our own and the team according to different indicators. That is, it is personal volume, group volume, first line beginners, pools. Moreover, we can look at the pools in more detail throughout our team, the daily dynamics of the CDF. It burned down by the day. What is being compared here? The current and previous periods are always compared in all charts. Or we can choose other two periods of interest to you and compare them, for example, their May with February, and look at the indicators. Each graph can be opened in more detail and viewed by qualification. Well, here, unfortunately, I have little data, so not so clearly. Next, we have the cumulative dynamics of the CDF, this is your structural and group volume in total by days, that is, the first number plus the second number plus the third number, and so on. According to this schedule, you can track by periods where you have a backlog or an advance in the group volume of the team. Next we have the whole structure. Here we can look at the CDF for the past 6 periods. When you hover over the column, we see the turnover indicators in each of the periods. "50 peeves." And what does tabs mean? 50 peeves is how many people, the number of them and the percentage of your entire IRA structure made 50 peeves or more in each of the periods. 200 peeves, 500 peeves, it's all the same. The leaders of the master, Jam Plus. That is, the schedule of termination of registrations. This, respectively, is how much, how many, in what period you had registration and termination. If you see that you have more terminations than registration, accordingly, we can conclude that you need to work harder so that you do not have a recession. Registrations are the number of people by day who were registered in the current and previous period. Next, we have activations. As I said, each of the graphs can be viewed in more detail. The last 4 bars show you clearly where you can make an effort and add. Well, let's start in order. The first die is, accordingly, to finish the volume of the CDF. What does it show? It shows how your CDF will increase if the partners of the structure finish their volumes. That is, this is the forecast of your CDF for the current period. In more detail here you can see who exactly needs to slightly finish up to 50, 200 or 500 PIWs of personal volume. That is, here you will have a list of the partners of your structure, including the calculated amount of beer that they need to finish. Next, we have inactive newcomers. These are all new people who have not yet made an activity after registering with you. They are divided into newcomers who have registered from 0 to 5 days and from 6 to 31 days ago. We know statistics that the probability of performing an activity at the time of registration drops sharply after 5 days from the date of registration. Therefore, we recommend that you always actively work with beginners in the first 5 days. The next tab we have is Beginners. Here are all the new people in your structure in the current period, broken down into the first line and the last. To delete is the number of partners who have not been active for the last 6 to 12 periods and will be deleted after the closing of the current period. Accordingly, this is the last chance to get them back into business, to work with them, respectively, to bring out, perhaps, some new results. And the last tab is those who have advanced their qualifications. All partners who have completed qualifications higher than they have ever had in the previous period. You can congratulate them, praise them, outline a further development and growth strategy, and so on. What else is there in Analytics in detail? The Structure tab. It looks in general exactly the same as on the website in the mobile application, with the same filters. Here, as it is more convenient for you, use it. But there is a small difference, or rather, a very important one. Functionality that is only available in Analytics. For each partner, if we open personal data, we can look at his offline, that is, if you have him in depth, I probably won't find him now. If suddenly he is in your depth, respectively, you can look at all the mentors of this partner before you to understand who is working with him, with this person in your depth. And you can also see the full detailed statistics for this particular person. That is, all the indicators that I told you about above, they, respectively, will also be displayed to you here, but exactly for the selected person. All charts, and it will be very useful for you to use this service for analytics. Next. The next tab I want to tell you about is the structure tree. This is a visual representation of the structure in the form of a tree. You can disclose, well, I have a lot here. Yeah, unfortunately, I won't show you, but let's tell you, because there is very little data under this account. Visually, unfortunately, I can't show it. So, that is, this is a representation of your structure in the form of a tree. You can open it and see what percentage of the structural group volume is made by one or another person of your team. That is, roughly speaking, you will have 5 people on the first line, and they will be sorted from a larger percentage to a smaller one. For example, one person makes 50% of your total turnover, and the rest there are 10, 20, and, accordingly, it can be concluded that your turnover makes the most, that will be the first, and, accordingly, he works more actively compared to the rest. And the last service I want to tell you about is Assist. What is an Aspen? It is a smart and intelligent assistant that takes into account the individual progress of your partners and displays it in the newsletter. That is, it is a service that helps you work with your first, second, and third line partners. It distributes partners according to certain parameters and automatically selects those who need to send a reminder. Also, Ossit immediately offers a text when sending, taking into account the selected filter and the benefits that a person will receive by fulfilling the conditions. At the moment, there are parameters for personal volume, that is, who needs to finish the volume up to 25, 50, 200 and 500. And, accordingly, according to the CDF, those who lack a little bit up to 1, 2, 3, or Elke, and newcomers who registered today, or 2 or 3 days ago, or 431 days ago. What does this service give? He selects people suitable for certain parameters for you, and forms a text in a rather personalized way, which can be sent immediately. To this partner. I'll show you an example of what it looks like. Look, this is how it looks, that is, a contact is selected for you, all his data, and, accordingly, you can contact him or skip. You can contact us via WhatsApp, SMS, phone, email, or Viber. The text is generated automatically. That is, this service is aimed at personal study with each partner, and not for mass mailing. That is, you will need to give everyone time and work it out. What else is special? You can write to a person twice a month. The first time at any moment when you come here, and the second time no earlier than 7 days later. That is, within 7 days, if you sent the first message, then within 7 days this person will no longer be included in your sample. Accordingly, you are not for his memory, are you? If you, as a mentor, sent him a message. Accordingly, he does not get to other mentors. If, for example, the partner to whom you wrote did not finish the volume after 7 days or did not complete another task, respectively, about this to him. Or rather, the task about which the message was sent to him. The assist understands this and then it forms the following message, taking into account that the contact has already been made and that the purpose of the contact has not been achieved. That is, the second time the text will be offered to him not the same as the first, but another, given that you have already written to him, and so as not to repeat. Accordingly, we generally have a text that forms an assist. It is based on many indicators, including the age of the person to whom we are sending the message, what line he is in, what his personal volume is at the moment, what personal volume was last month, and, accordingly, we divide the parameter by the parameter by which we are currently sending. That is, look, the message turns out to be quite personalized. After we have processed the contact, sent a message, accordingly, it is placed processed and the next contact for communication is substituted for you. There is a menu with basic settings, with a blacklist, that is, for example, you want some partner to never get into your selections, you enter his ID here and, accordingly, the system will never show it to you. Question and answer. I highly recommend reading this section, and, accordingly, the output. Would you like to summarize? What is a good assistant? It helps you save time on forming lists. From the list of sending texts, it helps you not to puzzle over what exactly and when to write. You can only correct, if necessary, the text that he offers you and send it to him immediately. And most importantly, it allows you not to forget about any of your partners, which is very important. Actually, that's all I wanted to tell you about today. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope it was useful and interesting. And you will use these services in your work, and they will be convenient, comfortable, and will help you in the development of your business. Thank you for your attention.